We're going to find out exactly what's going to be banned here as we head into Champion Select for game number 4. Millenium on match point right now on LCS Summer. Split point, we can really call it. If they win this one, then they are safe. And there it is, the Nocturne ban from Ninjas in Pyjamas. We'll see if Millenium switch up their strategy as well. Up till now, it's the same. Lulu banned out by them. A Rise ban as well by NIP, so they're totally changing their strategy.
Just hitting towards the late game power Millenium had in the last game. We could even see the Ziggs being banned away. We could see all the late game champs. It is going to be the Ziggs, so Jax is left open for the first time. I'm not sure if Zero wants to first pick it, or they don't mind giving the Jax over to Kevin, which, newsflash, is also a very strong late game champ.
Wonder if they're going to leave Kha'Zix open and NIP will take that first with the Nocturne ban.
Could do.
We'll see about this one. Final ban coming out. Won't actually be a change here, I think. They're going to stay, with LeBlanc. First pick was very quick here. Lucian taken away. This time, for the first time, actually, towards Creatine. But that leads to incredible champions for Millenium. Jax and Kha'Zix.
Two of the strongest champions at the moment. Two champions who work scales into the late game as well. I mean, of course, Jax and Rise, both of them are complete monsters in the late game here. So Kevin, he'll be very happy. But of course, Ninjas in Pyjamas, they would have known it would be the Jax. As soon as they didn't ban it, as soon as they first picked the Lucian, there was no chance Millenium wouldn't pick a Jax here. So obviously they must, there must something ready against it, because it was a very expected pick.
Kha'Zix, it's a case of what's the evil of the two champions. He's already done well on Nocturne, so get rid of that, let him play Kha'Zix and see how he does with that one maybe. We are seeing more picks coming out though for NIP. Leona is the choice for the support, and they're going to take Shyvana here for that top lane for Zero, champion which he's played multiple times. He's a very good Shyvana player. Very,
very strong Shyvana player. Still, issues for him going into late game. Jax will be able to out-sustain him and force him out of the lane. So that can be an issue for NIP. And also, wow, Twisted Fate was actually left open by Millenium, and they might be picking it up this time. If they do take the Twisted Fate here with a Jax on the team as well, that is 1-3-1 split push. That's going to be very hard to deal with for someone like NIP.
Let's see whether Kurt wants to do that now though. Well, apparently he's going to answer that for me by just locking that one in. So Kurt will be playing Twisted Fate, and Graves also coming back into the mix.
So Graves is actually a still fairly new AD carry. A lot of people in NA plays it, and one of the reasons he's very, very strong at the moment is the fact that people in this meta, they will dive towards you, and you're very hard to kill. You're one of the hard AD carries to kill because of your passive gives you extra armor, and at the same time, the closer people are to you, the more damage you do with your Q, of course, with your ultimate to the first target right in your face. And he was buffed as well here in 4.5. More damage in the ultimate, less mana cost on his dash. So he's a very good pickup at the moment. Only downside could be, well, his wave clear is fine, but it's not like a Caitlyn when it comes to wave clear, or Sivir when it comes to wave clear. And if Millenium wants to 1-3-1 split push, they would really want someone to wave clear a lot in the mid lane, while TF then could be in one lane and Jax in the other lane. But of course, if they are together as a team, Graves plus TF is enough wave clear.
So NIP gonna round off their comp here with Kayle, a champion which basically stopped them joining the LCS. So you can't forget those games that Overpower had on Kayle against them in the spring promotion tournament. Also, the Lee Sin being picked up here for Hulberto.
So with Lee Sin, obviously there's a lot of early game power. Late game, you become more of a tank and a person who can try and set something up with your ultimate, but you don't actually bring too much. Compared it to Kha'Zix as a jungler, he's an absolute beast when it comes to team fights. In your face, 50% damage reduction from his ultimate, very hard to deal with. Yes, okay, you did pick up the Kayle now. You got the Lucian, you got Shyvana, all three champions doing well in the late game. Of course, Kayle's late game was nerfed a little bit a few patches ago, down to 0.6 ratio on his Q now instead of the 1.0 ratio he had before. So his damage is slightly less, but still a very strong late game champ. So NIP going more late game style, but still with some early game here. Of course, Hulberto and Lee Sin can try and apply a lot of pressure. Millenium, their late game again is just looking very, very strong. Laning phase wise, Graves and Morgana is a good lane. If you land the binding, you get some free poke from Graves here, and it's very easy to set up ganks with TF when you have Morgana. Also because he can port in and you can black shield him, so NIP won't be able to just turn around and just instantly kill him like they normally could. So the comp here from Millenium, very, very strong. a lot is going to rely on Kevin on this Jax. If he beats out Zora Zero in this 1v1, being late game or being in the mid game, the entire pressure is on NIP. Like, NIP needs to do something then, because if something happens, if they try and go and gank him, TF joins in. Kha'Zix is there with his stealth coming in as well. So this Jax pick for Kevin can be the one deciding the entire game.
And I think NIP have to get off to a good start here, not just because of the way that these comps work, but for their mental state here as well. If they go into this game and end up giving a couple of kills at the start and a dragon, then they're going to be completely down and out, I feel.
I 100% agree. It's one thing is setting yourself up to the game now. Another thing is saying after the champ select, oh, are we happy with what we got here? Are we unhappy? And then when you get into the game, if you get this bad start, that's the way you just start giving up mentally.
Well, here we go then into game number 4. It's 2-1 to Millenium. NIP need 2 games in a row to be in with a chance. Well, if they win 2 games in a row, they're the team going to the LCS, but they cannot afford mistakes at this point. Level 1, will we see anything? We always talk, the dark binding from Morgana, Twisted Fate with the cards. That's some nice level 1 action.
Such a good level 1. Graves, good damage level 1 as well if he gets close to a target. He actually decided to bring Exhaust here on Creaton, so the heal is on Jerry this time around. He swapped it around here. Could mean we're going to see Creaton actually be one of the split pushers, and then the Exhaust is going to help him in the 1v1s here, especially against the likes of a Kayle, which is very burst focused, like exhausting when the Q comes in and you take a lot of damage away from it. And then there's some time before the Q comes up. 62% of you now voting for Millenium, and there is that swing. We already started to see a little bit of it move through. Okay, 63%. That's changing constantly. People are going for Millenium right now, and it's hard to disagree with that after 2 fine performances. Millenium, after going in the NIP jungle on the top side, have done a big route around the map, and they're moving towards the bottom. And again, also look at the comps here from Millenium's side. If they get 2v2, Morgana against Leona, it's a matchup we've seen quite a while, quite some times. There is room for outplay for Miffy here, where he can engage onto one target, the Black Shield comes onto the target, then he switches over to the other person, locks him down and try and set something up for freeze. But it's hard to pull off, and at the same time, he needs to do it actually, he needs to win the lane then, because going into team fights, the Black Shield from Jerry here is going to stop the engage from NIP. Like if you Black Shield the key target, the one Miffy want to engage on, he's gonna stop it, and then the only thing they got left is either Roberto landing his Sonic Wave or Zora Zero flanking around. Otherwise Millenium can just disengage and just focus on split pushing.
Well, we see a standard start here actually as it comes down to it. Both junglers doing the blue and the crossover onto their own sides of red buffs as well. Down in the bottom lane is 2v2 Leona and Lucian versus Graves and Morgana. Jerry actually going to get pushed onto here. Miffy going to do some decent damage into him. Freeze just catching Creaton there as well. In the end, Millenium trying to play the pushback game as well, not allowing NIP to get a control and scare them out of position.
It's very important they hit level 2 at the same time, because if Miffy gets level 2, he can instantly go towards Jerry without the Black Shield, without the binding, and force a summoner away. So that's why Millenium put so much focus, and here's actually level 2. You see Millenium instantly moved back, like they knew there was a chance of NIP getting level 2, rush back, didn't want to risk anything, but now both of them got it. And they can stay in the lane for now. Black Shield was the second thing Jerry actually took, so I want to stop someone engage.
Oh, missing as well. We'll make that easier. Did actually get the Black Shield on himself anyway in the meantime from that one. That makes his bottom lane all the more interesting. Good deep ward there from Kevin. Won't stop anyone coming up through the river. By anyone, of course, I mean Alberto from Ninjas in Pyjamas. There's a good dash away from Creaton as the Zenith Blade once again doesn't connect from Miffy.
Just for now, both junglers farming away. It's definitely, again, Kha'Zix, fine, you can farm all you want. Dexter talked about it after the game, how junglers where you can farm a lot, because the early game is often a bit passive for NIP, is very, very strong. He can do it here, connects. Actually decides to sit ready for potential gank here. Curb though, with the wave at his own turret, it's going to be hard, because New Dog is not going to move all the way up here. So just waiting around for connects. Alberto though is farming away, he's going to the Wolf Camp. He's actually going to hit level 4 before connects, so that's slightly ahead this time around.
See if he can actually do anything with this one. And that target, if it's the top lane, already warded off, and Zora Zero is, or was recalled in there. Both top laners again are holding the teleport and flash. So expect them to maybe be getting involved around the map, especially once the likes of Kerp actually gets to level 6. And can use that Destiny to become a bit more mobile and have some big impacts. As we are going to see Zenithblade coming in there. Good Black Shield again from Jerry. Timing very, very strong so far on that Black Shield.
And you see how Miffy is moving. Uses E onto Kraton. As soon as the Black Shield is there, he doesn't activate his Q at all. He moves towards Jerry. Jerry, though, was too far away. He couldn't actually stun lock him, so no damage coming in. Instead, though, both of them just farming away. Very, very even. And we need to see, though, when the level 6 from Kerp comes in. Will he go towards the bot lane, try to set something up? Will he go up top lane, try and get Kevin rolling? We talked about how good Jax is late game, and he will be able to beat out Shyvana in a straight-up 1v1. So it could be the target for Millenium, just get him ahead as much as possible early with all the ganks from TF.
You have to feel that he's got a good target. Stop this Jax from getting to the position where he's just pretty much uncontrollable. He's one of those champions that if he does get rolling, you have such a hard time to actually do anything about it. We see him there just walking past 0-0 to get a ward down. Actually, as it was, Alberto didn't even bother heading that way. He'd already backed away into his own jungle after getting a ward by the Wraith camp, which won't matter too much for now. Kha'Zix is still off in his base.
Still off in the base. Both junglers, though, again, we haven't seen any action. And another engage from Miffy, backing away. Very fast Black Shield from Jerry.
Pretty much can hover over Creatine this entire time, ready to throw that Black Shield on. That's going to be his job. And hitting a binding here and there certainly won't go amiss for Millenium, especially if they want to get CottonX involved on this action. He's now level 5. Kerp will be hitting level 6 here shortly as well. And that means Destiny coming around. There is, in fact, the level 6 hit by Kerp. Alberto, though, is he going to try and get around the backside? Kha'Zix is on the other side of the jungle there. They spotted him with that ward, so they know exactly where CottonX is.
One thing we didn't talk about yet is the exhaust on Kerp here. We saw a Nuke Dog in the game 1 with Ghost and Flash on TF, but Kerp decides to go with exhaust, so it's gonna make him a lot stronger 1v1. It also means it's a lot harder for Nuke Dog to actually kill him. And that's one of the good things about Twisted Fate here. You can bring exhaust, you can bring Ghost. There's multiple summoners you can bring. You don't need Ignite on Twisted Fate. So you can bring all these good summoners, and that's also why he can stay and potentially even try and 1v1 Nuke Dog in the late game. It's gonna be hard though, and he needs to time the exhaust, and that's obviously, it's not gonna be the main thing for Millenium here. They don't want the Twisted Fate to do the 1v1s, but it's at least gonna help him try and survive.
Pretty much a farm game up until now.
Yep.
Both teams knowing exactly what's on the line. Millenium, I'm sure they can do without the stress of having a 5th game to win this series with. Sewing it up here would be a big, big move from. Look at this Kerp, he's moving. He's not going to be spotted here by a ward. Is he going to commit to this one? Is he going to head down the bottom? They're actually pushed up decently. CottonX is moving in. There he goes. The dot binding lands on towards Mithy. The stun comes in as well. Have they got the damage to finish it off? And there is CottonX now headed in from the side. Exhaust goes in as well.
Oh.
He dives in. Is he going to get the kill? Oh, he just get him there. The first one in the end went to Creatine. Of course, he did end up getting locked up. There's now 3 men in his bottom lane, though, from Millenium. They can pressure. They need to be careful of this mid lane, though, because Nuke Dog's having a go at that.
And Alberto, he should run into the mid lane here, help Nuke Dog push it, they can trade bot lane turret for the top one here. They traded 1 for 1. Miffy was very, very tanky in this engage. He survived all the way down to his own tower, and then they went for the kill. Even though CottonX, well, he wasn't actually even level 6, so he would not even have a single chance of getting out again once he actually went in.
He got the tower in the bottom lane. How's that mid lane tower doing? See, Kha'Zix is actually moving across to that one.
Survived.
It survived. There we go. And actually, not as much damage as I thought may have gone on to that one.
Roberto decided not to actually join in and get some damage. He went for the Wraith camp, and now going towards the red buff afterwards. Yes, he can get the red buff, but he could have gotten a lot more damage on this mid turret.
And do you want to dive a Jax? No. Don't want to dive a Jax.
Prefer not.
Yeah, see about that one. Actually, they decided not to go up for that one. He's going to carry on his merry way. In the end, Millenium getting that turret in the bottom side, getting themselves the first blood. Okay, losing CottonX in the process. Managed to save that middle turret. There is the blue buff going to go over onto Nuke Dog. Takes him a few swipes, but a few swipes will still get him that. And now Kerp's also going to get the blue. So, go back to the lanes with about a 600-700 gold lead here for Millenium.
with Millenium also showing with the first gank from Curb here, the bot lane is definitely a target for them. The binding landed onto Mifa and then they started everything. Connex was there as well. We should though be seeing later on in the game Curb put more focus on trying to kill Zoro up here in the top lane. Of course, it's going to be hard, just him and Jax. They most likely will need to play the Ruin King first for Kevin before they can go for these kills. But once they actually got it here, they can really apply some pressure onto NIP in the side lane. Still, need to be careful though, they don't give up too much in the mid lane. We saw Nuke Dog almost taking down the tower just by himself when Curb actually jumped away. He's going towards the top lane, no ultimate for him, so he runs up there. He really want to go for Zoro.
Well, if you don't need to ultimate up there, the stun is actually going to land. It's a red card that he actually pulls there, and Zoro is going to Dragon's Descent away from that one. Not the card you were looking for, Curb.
And Curb actually, again, he sacrifices a lot of farm in the mid lane. He just runs all the way up there. He's gonna come back here for the wave. Nuke Dog though staying around, should get some good damage onto him. Never mind, that Q did absolutely nothing.
Not quite what we were expecting out of that one.
He's actually maxing his E now here, Nuke Dog, so a lot of focus on the wave clear and the fast push, and not so much on the instant burst damage.
Alberto actually coming in, will go over a ward, but this is very dangerous, the Q landing. Don't think it's going to be followed up though. Curb already way out of range. That was a good scenario to pick your right card and not pull out a red or a blue. So good job for that one, Curb. They still need to be careful about this middle turret though. Nuke Dog now with that stinger in there will be able to strip it down pretty quickly.
And it's a bit, no, notice Alberto here actually, he's staying around because he spotted Connex with the pink ward. Cleared away, of course, very aggressive pink ward by the way. High chance of the enemy spotting it out, killing it. So Alberto staying around this mid lane because Nuke Dog, he wants to get up there so he can hit the tower a few times and he needs backup from Alberto in case something should happen. And it's just, if Curb ports away one more time, Nuke Dog will take the tower. However though, for Alberto's side, he's playing Lee Sin, very strong early game, and he's actually been doing nothing. Like, he's not been ganking anything, he's just been staying around the mid lane a few times.
Oh, Kevin yet gonna get the counter strike off onto Zoro. Zero's start here is Giant's Belt, double Doran's Blade, and the Vamp Scepter all the way for Kevin. He's got himself that Cutlass in there. And going up towards that Blade of the Ruin King. Plenty of sustain really from both sides. You see them having a bit of a go on each other, but honestly neither should really be in danger of dying without any jungle interference. I say that and you see again just bashing back and forth.
What I like with Zoro, how he picked up Giant's Belt as the first defensive item for him, because remember with Jax there's both physical damage and magic damage, so the straight, like the HP early on here, it's gonna help a lot. Just if he went for, let's say, a Chain West as the first item, Kevin was still doing a lot of damage to him.
And we see all of a sudden, as Nuke Dog goes back to finish off his Nash's Tooth. Got a bit of farm back in this one still. Relatively far behind, 30 CS that he's fallen behind from that one after Destiny into the bottom lane and then walking, quite frankly, straight to the top lane where they weren't able to get that kill. He's missed out on quite a lot of farm in there, but we'll see how that affects him later on. He only needs one kill and that gold's just evened up anyway. Plus the fact that they do have a gold advantage at this stage already. Certainly working in Millennium's favor.
It is a bit of their Curb style when he plays things where he can actually roam. Like, he sacrifices his own lane just to try and set something up. It didn't work perfectly for them down the bottom lane where they traded 1-1, but they did get the tower. And obviously, I guess, managed to defend their own tower mid lane, so in that case they won out on it. But it's so low, and Nuke Dog, with his maxing his E, just pushes the wave every single time, forcing Curb to actually stay and wave clear, otherwise he's gonna lose the tower. And Alberto, staying around the mid lane again, been doing absolutely nothing except for stealing a red buff so far.
Well, Blind Monkey's been more of an invisible monk so far, I think, for Millennium. Not really put too much pressure down, but you also have to say that turret now has fallen super, super low in the mid lane. Nuke Dog is still managing to really push up those waves. It's cute. Not exactly the burst of damage that you might be used to from Kales that we've seen obviously in the past after the ratios were changed, but he can still knock down towers pretty quickly.
Very, very quickly, and he can clear the wave very fast. That's why, again, Kirby's just staying in the mid lane because you want to make sure his tower doesn't go down too early. And then also, ganking the lanes now is a little bit hard, where both Zoro and then the dual lane in the bottom here for NIP are down towards their own tower, so a lot of pressure from Millennium in the lanes. Hard for NIP, or there's actually no tower, so it could be an option. still a bit risky to go so deep because Nukdog will be able to also move down there and join the fight at some point.
Alberto is waiting. He knows he's not spotted there because of the pink ward that NIP have in that tri-bush. But again, deciding not to go for it. They lost sight of Twisted Fate, and when you've lost sight of him, you never know which side of the map he's going to be on, whether he's actually recalled or what have you, and if he's going to all of a sudden jump in and make that what is your advantage in a fight into an even one.
And that's exactly why Alberto's been playing so passive, because he doesn't want to start a fight and then Curb comes in or Codnex is nearby and they turn it around because Nukdog is still in the mid lane and they end up losing it. So he's just been farming instead, but that's where it's heavily in favor of Millenium, because your jungler scales so well into the late game, where NIP's jungler pretty much just becomes a tank in the late game. Like, he won't be able to kill anyone by himself.
Black Shield from J-Ree, gonna give him credit there, has been absolutely spot on so far. So I use it there once again. And NIP weren't able to come in. Alberto had actually come back down to that tri-bush to see if they could actually get involved with it, but in the end, again, nothing pushed through. So that leaves us here 15.5 minutes in almost. 22.3 to 21.2. So still only 1,000 gold between them. This top lane, Kevin, well, he's Jax. Yeah. And that's what he does best. Look at that turret going down so quickly. Leap strikes off, and will lose very little health for all that time that Zoro is trying to take him.
Blade of the Ruined King is like the go-to signal now for Kevin, just to say, I don't even care about Zoro anymore because I got so much sustain. That's actually why Nukdog is forced to move up here, otherwise the tower is going to go down. Kevin staying around for now, actually just jumped in. Nukdog will come in here.
Yeah, that's really, really bad news for him. Actually going to try and throw the counter-strike down. There is the Blade of the Ruined King used, and his ultimate, his Leap Strike comes back up with the ward. You don't catch a Jax that easy. And this should open up the Dragon now for Millenium. Dark Binding comes in, has actually landed on towards Mithy. Do they have the damage? That is a good exhaust coming onto Creatine. And the Destiny also pod. They're going to go for Alberto. Is he going to get away? Stun card comes in. It's Kirk to pick up the kill.
So a kill here for Millenium. Nukdog rejoined what was remaining of his team at least to try and stop this Dragon. He's staying around here. Everything is ready for Nukdog, but he might just go into the mid lane and take the tower instead, because both Miffy and Freeze went down to the bottom lane here. Millenium actually cancelled the Dragon to defend their lanes. Codnex though, red buff coming in here. Can J-Ree land a binding?
Well, he's going to try and push through. They're at pretty max range from this one. They are coming back though, because I mean, see Nukdog actually coming in. They're going to go for J-Ree. Solar Flare goes down. J-Ree going incredibly low as his ultimate comes out. He flashes away. Can he escape? No. Auto attack comes down from Freeze to get the kill.
2 versus 3 here for NIP, turning it around. Black Shield was on cooldown, went on to J-Ree and just killed him there. Very nice play by the bottom lane, and now Nukdog here to push it. Alberto trying to hold the mid lane from Kirk.
And will probably do so as well. This one turret though is going down. That's to say Millenium did get the top turret, and that was Kevin who finally pushed that through, even though Zoro was there. Jax not really caring that anyone's around him to try and stop that.
Turret.
Meanwhile, this mid turret, Alberto, as he said before, came in to do that one, but a wave clear of Twisted Fate, just far too strong. They don't really go past that turret, and Kerp is going to take it down. That's all 3 outer turrets now taken out by Millenium to the single one that NIP have managed to get.
There's a good response here. Gave up a kill, yes, gave up the bottom lane turret, but then Kirk will just stay in. He's so much stronger than Alberto, who is very weak at the moment. Didn't even care about him being there, just took down the tower. And of course up in the top lane, Zoro. Still the tower left he needs to get, but Kevin, he's just so strong. Look at him in these fights.
That was a really nice move as well. Used the Blade of the Ruined King to get the speed in there so that the counter-strike could get the stun onto Zoro. Not quite enough damage in the end though to actually kill him, but nonetheless will force him out of that top lane, and he's going to give Kevin a little bit more free from. He's actually slightly behind that of Zoro. Probably mostly because Zoro has just gone through and taken quite a few of those golem counts as well on his way out.
So NIP at the moment need to send at least 1 more member up to try and kill Kevin. Because again, Zoro can try and clear the wave and just back off from there. He won't be able to kill Kevin. That's where they need Nukdog to move up. Alberto, I'm not even sure if they can 2v1 Kevin. Actually, once there's a 24 on Kevin, it's going to be even harder at least, which is the one he's going towards now. But we need to see if NIP want to send multiple members to try and kill him. And then we of course need to remember Twisted Fate can always join in. Kha'Zix, if he's nearby with his ultimate, very mobile with his jumps, can get in as well and help out Kevin. And this makes it so scary for NIP when the split pushing really starts.
See, already chopping down those waves. Got a Sheen in there. Head up towards that Lich Bane. Almost getting, he wanted that pink ward, I think, was chased actually out of things. Is Kirk gonna get blasted? But not quite got the burst, not got the damage here for this one. However, we are gonna see.
I mean, how he's just farming away. Sheen picked up now for him, so his upfront burst damage is very high. If he gets the 2 stacks from his ultimate, and then the third one, of course, jumps in, empower it, get the hit from it, and then the Sheen just boom. There's a lot of burst you can do straight into someone. And he's just staying in the top lane. Teleport again is still up for him, so he can always join in for the Dragon, which none of the teams actually started the Dragon yet. Just been staying around it to see what happened.
Also have to bear in mind, Kayle also towards the late game is going to be a major threat for Millenium. Although, you're going to argue now as well, 40% less of a threat than she was before.
Well, yeah, true. Also double exhaust onto the side of Millenium here. Kha'Zix, of course, is hard to take down for Kayle with his ultimate. Black Shield is going to stop some of the CC coming in, the engage coming in from NIP, so it's going to be harder for Nuke Dog to find his targets. It's going to make it hard for him, even though he scales well into the late game. So does a Twisted Fate. I mean, there's a lot of damage on Twisted Fate, a lot of wave clear, a lot of tower damage on a Twisted Fate late game.
Now, both teams set up in middle. That turret is so incredibly low, but between Graves and TF, those waves don't make it anywhere near the turret, to be honest. Kirk gets 2 out before the waves can even be cleared by NIP. Top lane as well, just as we expected, is Kevin putting pressure on towards Zoro. Zero is trying his best here to keep that farm up. Dropped slightly behind now. See that he has that Sunfire Cape, working up towards the Blade of the Ruin King as well.
He really needs it for the 1v1. I'm not sure if he's gonna keep it at the Cutlass for now and try and go more tanky, so he can provide more, so he can be better in team fights. Because obviously there's a lot of damage from the side of Millenium, like jumping into the face of a Graves who's gonna fire his Q and his ultimate right in your face. I mean, you need to be tanky to survive the burst here from Millenium's side. And obviously he's gonna be the guy in the front line together with all burst on.
Dragon here warded up by Millenium. Both teams have been very, very cautious around that Dragon area. Speaking of Dragon, both top laners have teleport available for use here as well. I was going to say getting caught out, but he's managed to get the quick draw off just before the stun actually landed onto Creaton there. That could have been the death of him if he'd not used that quick draw when he did.
Yeah, very good reactions. You see the animation from the ultimate and you just instantly dash away. Black Shield was not in range, so Jerry wouldn't be able to help him in case he had been locked up here. And that's what NIP needs to do. I mean, they are looking to get some picks here because they know time-wise, it's not 100% in their favor. Even though they got a decent enough late game, it's just not the same as Millenium. So they want to try and set something up here. And this Dragon fight, which nobody actually wants to start, could be a very key thing. If NIP gets the team fight here, wins it, and from there on can try and do like they did in game 1, snowball it from there and finish the game before Jax can become this monster, they will still have a chance.
I'll give you a reason as well for Millenium not to fight. That's because Jax has just finished his Trinity Force, which means that Kevin coming into this next fight, if they do start something here at Dragon, will be a lot stronger for Millenium. We'll see about that one. Also, they picked up the, actually that was 3 minutes ago that the Crucible came in, so that was a little bit earlier on that J. Reed did manage to pick that one up. But we see now, Kevin, these waves just get absolutely decimated.
So Zero running away, going towards the big Wraith here. They've actually been fighting over it a few times. I think Kevin leads at least. I think he picked up 3, where Zero got 1. So
really? You've been counting that?
A little bit. I'm not 100% sure it's correct. There's probably someone who did count it who can...
it up.
No, I'm pretty sure Kevin got it a few times at least. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Kevin going back there though, that wave had just started to push through. Got the vision down for that all-important
Yes,
Wraith.
it's all about that big Wraith.
Oh, white as he
Come on,
actually
go
is.
for it. Go
Millenium here are going to move towards the Baron. Not the Baron, the Dragon. That turret was bound to fall anyway. Think it's a good trade if they can stay involved in this one. The question is, will Jax get into the fight here? Will Zoro Zero try to dive him out of that teleport and stop him from joining? There's the Culling going down.
Good damage.
Onyx actually taking a lot of damage here. He's going to use his ultimate, and there is Nuke Duck from the backside. That is a ton of damage coming in, and they managed to lock up all 3 of them. Can they wipe them out? Creaton will fall as well, and it's only J. Reed to try and walk away from this one, and he will once again locked up. And Nukeduck is coming in. This is a quadra kill for Nukeduck. That is exactly what you didn't want to happen if you're a Millenium fan.
But wow, oh, Kevin going aggressive on the Zoro, jumping away. However, in this Dragon fight here, we actually just talk about how NRP would like a fight, and then if they can win it, get far ahead and then start snowballing. Gold-wise, of course, they're actually still going to be behind because Kevin should be able to, never mind, backs away. So NRP will be ahead now. Of course, getting the big Wraith, the all-important one. But Nukeduck picking up a quadra kill. Couldn't be any better for NRP. Look at this fight here. A lot of damage already from Freeze just before it starts. Connex is down to 50%, and then without his ultimate being popped here, he gets stunned, instantly killed. No 50% damage reduction. And then Roberto actually doing beautiful move. Combine that with the ultimate from Miffy, locking up multiple members, and then just Nukeduck in the back with Freeze, hammering away, chasing you up. Got the quadra kill, got the dragon. This is just perfect for NIP. I mean, you want this kill here to be so strong in the late game.
Quadra finish off. That is bad news, as I said, for Millenium. 4-0-0. Rabadon's death cap added to that Nash's Tooth. We said, okay, you're gonna go Lich Bane next. Well, if that happens to you, 4 kills and a dragon, you can say, you know what, I'm just gonna go straight for the real power. Picks himself up the death cap. Funnily enough, Kevin and Zoro not even involved in that 4 versus 4 fight.
Yeah, but Kevin did get a lot of damage onto the tower here because, again, Zoro was forced to ultimate away. Even on his own tower, Kevin was a lot stronger. That's why NRP now sending multiple members. Cotnex is nearby, though. This could be a 2v3.
It will be a 2v3 by the looks of it. Actually, they dive straight on towards Kevin. Twisted Fate going to get involved now. Who are they going to go for? Kerp actually being focused. Nukeduck is going to go down, though. That is a kill for Millenium, but Kevin falling superbly low. Kerp is low as well, and they actually flash onto him. It's a double kill for Zoro. Now Cotnex looking for more. He does get one and then jumps away. It's all about whether they can land the Q, and he does land the Q. Alberto follows through, and that was a 4 for 2.
Such a strong fight again by NRP, really taking control of this game. A very smart little thing Millenium actually did was the Black Shield was onto Kerp when he poured it in for the fight, so he didn't get kicked back by Alberto. Managed to survive, get a kill, but from there on it just wasn't enough. Kevin went down, NIP stayed there and just killed him. Finished off the last kill, got double buff onto Alberto, got a tower, maybe even a second one here. Kraton in response though, gets the mid tower.
Mid turret goes down, but they will get this inner turret on the top lane there. So that leaves us 4-4 tied in towers, 2,000 gold for NIP. 10-4 in kills though, the interesting one. Intervention was used very early in that fight actually from Nukeduck. Probably saving it might have helped him out when he got focused down there by the end of it. It's all ifs and buts though, and to be honest, NIP coming out with the advantage won't be unhappy whatsoever. We did see Kerp using that Zhonya's very early. He's also about to finish off that Rabadon's death cap the next time that he actually heads home. Already got the need to large rod. And the blasting one, meanwhile Millenium have got themselves some wards down around the Baron. Same goes for Nip though, inside the river. Good vision from their side. It's
going to be hard for NIP as well if they decide to group up and just try and push towards Millenium because of the wave clear from Twisted Fate and of course from Kraton and Graves here. So it's going to be hard for them to just get towards the towers. Unless Nukeduck can find a pick here on Kraton. Wise enough though, clears the wave, backs away, or does he? He's actually going to check him. No vision for Nukeduck, he didn't know he was actually coming towards, saw the ward, instantly Kraton just went by. But that's the thing, NIP, if they can get a kill with Nukeduck here in this side lane, he still needs to be careful because exhaust onto Kraton and then the ultimate from Kerp could be something happening and they go 2 versus 1 against him and kill him. Because obviously Kevin up here in the top lane, he's gonna win his 1v1, even against Nukeduck.
Another white picked up by him as well. Really good job of having that one, really been highly contested. We look down the items from those two, of course it was the Blade of the Ruin King and Trinity Force first up for Kevin. On the other side, Blade of the Ruin King done. Also, Randuin's going to be coming in very soon for Zoro as well. We've got 1:45 until Dragon spawns, and that surely is going to be our next big fight.
Unless NRP decide to just clear the entire vision around this area here and try and force it early. I'm saying early, 29 minutes, it's of course not early, but...
Early compared to the other games.
True. Try and force a Baron here, try and force Millenium into a team fight and use this very, very strong Kayle, and of course also Freeze and Lucian is actually doing really well, 3, 0, and 4. So he's going to be very strong, still needs the last Whisper, slightly behind in items compared to Kraton. Once he picks up the last Whisper though, him and Nuke Dog should be very, very strong. As long as they can stay safely in the backline or fire away.
Phantom Dancer picked up though for Creaton, and Randuin's done on Cotton X as well. So they're a little bit stronger here on Millenium's side. As a cute lance from Alberto. A bit of a suicide mission if he'd have followed that one through though, with 3 men in that mid lane. Need to go for that. However, they do have vision on Curb. They know that he's going to be doing that blue, which means they'll have a timer on it for next time that it comes up. And also know exactly where Twisted Fate is on the map. I think I've seen the white focus more this game than ever before.
Yep. It's everyone really wants to kill it every single time the poor thing respawns. Just want to go and kill it. Of course, Kevin is still the #1 doing it. I mean, he's a very evil man. And now he actually moved down to the bottom lane. It means for Millenium, if he wins his fight against Zoro, they can rush towards the Baron. He can join in there. It does, of course, mean he won't be able to start the Baron, only him and, let's say, Creaton if they want to try and sneak it because he's down the bottom lane. Then we need him up in top lane to push it out and then rotate towards it. But they did decide to put him down bottom lane here. NIP responded though, sent Zoro down just to clear the wave again.
Zero will push that one out. Actually, Dragon is now up and Millenium already in position. This time they've got Kevin with them. This time Zoro Zero's there as well, as we are going to see them going straight in for Zoro Zero, and he actually dives the other way. Kerp would actually come around the side, which means quite a decent amount used from this one. Destiny they could use to get full vision control over, or spot where everyone from NIP isn't going to be available. There is the Dragon going to be started off, going down very, very quickly. Who's going to get the better of this one? The culling goes out. There is a solar flare used as well. Kevin is actually still over there by the Dragon as Mitty's gone very, very deep. Gets himself locked up. It's Kevin right into the middle. He manages to stun the entire team, and now Zoro Zero with no ultimate's going to go down. That's a double kill for Jax. Exactly the wrong person if you're an NIP player that they wanted to get the double kills, and a Dragon that swings the goal back towards Millenium.
And this team fight here, Miffy goes in for engage, but nobody actually follows him. I mean, everyone else was just staying back a little bit, so he went in by himself. He was forced to flash out. And then Millenium, as soon as Miffy was so low, as soon as the CC was gone, they could just rush onto them. Kevin could join in after the Dragon died, pick up 2 kills. Just a very uncoordinated team fight by NIP. Some members went in. Look at here. Notice here. Miffy goes in all by himself. Zoro Zero, no ultimate. It's gone. So he's just going to run back. Miffy's all alone here. Flashes out. Now Kevin, notice him jumping in. Flash jump, stuns everyone. That was beautiful. That pretty much won the entire fight actually for Millenium. And then also he takes 2 kills as his reward for that beautiful flash leap strike stun to everyone.
Not often you see that actually do that much. We saw the Mikhail's actually used by Mithy on himself there as well to actually get out of that one, which,
yeah, he had to.
You know, he was pretty much already dead anyway, I feel. How low he'd gone from that one, whether he'd have got out or not, maybe would have been wiser to save Zoro Zero, but, well, that's all easy when you've got 20/20 hindsight vision like we have. Millenium, yeah, gonna push down once again. Kevin just going back to that rinse and repeat. They've managed to stun him. Zoro Zero though. There is a counter strike coming in as well. Have they got enough to finish? The Randuin's obviously slowing them down to a crawl. They are, however, gonna get the turret.
Great use of Twisted Fate here. Because of all the pressure from Jax, he can join in, take a very easy tower, and maybe even come in behind NIP here if they want to collapse and want to fight. Seems not just want to back away here.
Solar Flare was used, by the way, there from Miffy.
Trying to set something up, but didn't connect. Obviously, the Black Shield again from Jerry makes it very hard to actually start a fight.
And, you know, got to take a couple of risks, I think, with skills like that. If you do catch someone out, then start a run, get some objectives off it. Didn't work out for them, though. And Millenium are, of course, still in the lead in this one. We see the Rabadon's death cap now completed for Kerp. On the other side, though, Lichbane is added into that death cap. And the Stinger, not the Stinger, the Nash's Tooth, of course, for Nuke Dog. As NIP once again get vision control. Face check could be pretty brutal if it's Kerp. Other side of it, if he manages Zhonya's fast enough, that gives the time for the rest of his team to come in.
Gives time for Kevin to teleport in as well. Join the fight. He's down the bottom lane again. He's going to go all the way up to this tower. NIP is forced to either recall and defend, or start up the Baron and force him to teleport. It seems Zoro Zero recall to try and defend this wave. And now we've reached a point where, or we're actually the point NIP's been in the last few games, where we come into this like 35-minute point, And because they don't know what to do in the situation, it's just being stalled out by Millenium, and they're perfectly happy just playing the game, just letting Kevin farm all the time. They don't need to do anything, Millenium. And so we might be in for the same thing we've seen the last 2 games, where Millenium just farm on for the next 10-15 minutes.
And why not? It's been a tried and tested method for them so far. Kevin again, just knocking down a few creeps. Got a Banshee's Veil and Warden's Mail now in there. And he will just back straight off from things. They're going to push out this top lane. In fact, they've already done that one. Cortex is going to go back home. I'm guessing he's got a decent amount of money to actually be spending from this one. And Colin actually coming through good damage to Curb. And that Dark Binding actually could have been quite important for him. Curb tanking up a lot of damage from Freeze. And NIP are now moving over towards the Baron. Look at this. Curb is recalling. Are they going to start it out? There's Vision at the backside. Will they take that and go for it? Still very, very risky. They know that Millenium are hanging around. Millenium know that this is happening as well, surely.
Ultimate is ready for Curb. Used here. Full vision of everyone. Both these top laners here, they want to teleport in, but they can actually interrupt each other. So we need to see who does it first or if they just stay. NIP for now, though, just backing away after the ultimate was used by Curb. And nothing really happened from it. NIP did the right thing, though. They tried to find a pick here. Freeze went very aggressive towards Curb. Tried to get a kill so they could start up this Baron. Because they know at the moment that's their way in. Because if they go and just try and push down the tower, it's very, very hard against all the wave clear from Millenium. And they don't want to risk Kevin teleporting in behind them. And then just the whole fight could collapse on them and they would lose.
Stunning 5 of them up again.
That was beautiful, by the way.
Not something that you can land every time, that's for sure. Kevin and Zora Zoo, if you look at their farm, considering we're now 36 minutes in, they're up at around 370 farm. Very, very even between the two. Same can't really be said between the mid laners though. 390 to 316. AD carries are pretty level as well in this one, but that 304 scoreline for Freeze, something that is going to give him a bit of a boost. However, NIP once again are going to be moving in. They just spotted that that ward was actually planted at the back, means that Mithy can take that one down very easily, and Millenium going to have to go back in, place some wards of their own. Dragon's actually coming up in 3/4 of a minute, which I feel is maybe a more realistic target for both sides at this stage.
But not really a target that's going to do too much from the game. At this point now, we're getting into the late game. Yes, Dragon will give more gold in the late game, but still, both these teams, I mean, one team is looking to just extend the game, the other team is looking for an opening. And getting the Dragon is not going to be the thing for NIP. It's not going to be the one where they can say, now we can finally start push up or dive onto you or something. They do have a fairly decent comp to actually dive Millenium if they get ahead, if they get a Baron buff. Of course, with their ultimate from Nuke Dog to whoever is tanking the tower. And a lot of tanking members in both Miffy, Halberto, and Zora Zero who can tank up the tower. So they could dive onto them if they do get ahead, but they're behind in goal now. Dragon is up. Just at the moment, Crescent already starting it, so NIP really need to react fast if you want to stop this one.
Don't think they can be fast enough for that one. No, it goes over to Millenium. Will they try and start a fight? Actually, they're running up through the Millenium jungle here. Going to go straight towards that inner tower. And you see the speed that Nuke Dog gets there when he throws that heal on himself, and he absolutely destroys turrets at this stage.
Yeah, he really does a lot of damage, but here Millenium from the back.
Coming around the side, Cornex actually taking a lot of damage. A little bit split up here on Millenium, but they've managed to force them away there. That turret didn't actually go down in the end.
Ultimate wasn't used by Nuke Dog, still got it ready in case they want to try and fight again from NIP side. Connex, of course, with his ultimate being gone, he needs to be careful. He can't just jump in because he's going to be a squishy target then. Well, not squish, but squishier at least than before. Seems though both teams happy just disengaging, backing away. But then we can just send Kevin out in the side lane again to do the same thing. Zora Zero will be there to try and defend, and then it's going to be all about the 4 members from both teams, what they can actually set up here. Miffy needs to try and land and engage, and then they just have to get a kill or two, get the Baron for NIP, and that could be the opening for them.
After that, Dragon Randomins was finished there by Kevin. Aegis 4 J-Reet. Spectre's Cowl as well on Cottonex, so your items coming in that will maybe make a difference next time these two teams face off in a fight. Again, worried here how much damage Nuke Dog's going to do. We saw him in that last fight where they chased. Granted, it was a sloppy fight, sloppy play, I think, from Millenium that allowed them to get into that position anyway, but Nuke Dog absolutely wiped the floor with them. Then again, the fight after that, it was Kevin that set everything up, and came 2-0 out of that one. So still a lot to be decided in this game. One thing that has swung though is of course Millenium have got themselves a healthy gold lead, and you know 3,000 is still not a lot at 40 minutes, but it's been the biggest difference that we've had in this game so far.
And it's a lot when you have a very good late game coming. Zoro now taking a lot of damage.
Not as easy anymore to actually get away from this. So there's another stun card coming in, but they were scared of the rest of the team, and rightly so. NIP have pushed 4 members down towards this bottom side, but again, that one single ward that Millenium have by the red buff spotted them all coming and they were able to back off. Now we've got 4 members of Millenium here, up against 4 because Zoro has actually backed away as well, and now we see that Cornex will move down to support the rest of his team. There's a lot of wards going on in there though for NIP.
A lot of vision control from both teams are trying to get the vision control here. Nuke Dog might be caught out.
Oh, they are going on to Nuke Dog, and he's going to go down before the use of intervention. Good kick from Alberto though will stop them from chasing on for any more, but this bottom inner turret, that's a goner. They can't save that now, I don't think.
No, Millenium, they can keep pushing here. 50 seconds on Nuke Dog. Very nice setup. First a stun from Kevin, then a flash stun again from Curb, giving him no chance to use his ultimate. Instantly bursting him down. No Black Shield, of course, because Morgana's on the other side, which is the big difference between the two teams comp here in the late game.
It was a 50-second spawn timer as well here. Millenium might be able to get some damage down. They are going to stun up Alberto. Dark Binding comes through as well, which will land, but struggling to really push through on that one. Here comes another wave though. This is where things may just change. Zoro getting up front, that turret down to half HP. Kevin has to back away. Creaton trying to finish things off. They've stunned up Jerry as well. Now's the signal to back away. 14 seconds for Nuke Dog. The Cullen coming through. It's all catching on to Creaton, but have they got enough to finish it off? Zoro has his ultimate. Cornex turns around. Kirk tried to get his stun card off as well, but they're going to keep going on this one. Zoro does get stunned off. Cornex may just sacrifice himself here. No, he's popped his ultimate. He's going to jump over the top of the golems. He'll be able to walk away.
Great disengage by Millenium. They didn't get the tower though. Needed one more hit from either Creaton or Curb to go down. Survived, but then they just disengaged away. 4 members from NIP chased towards them. Could just never really get onto them. I mean, it's so mobile.
Baron.
Black Shield as well. They're rushing towards this Baron. Entire Millenium is coming from the base. Curb already teleported down. Teleport from Kevin as well. This one is going to be very risky for NIP.
Wow, it's down to almost half HP already, but here comes Kevin.
The jungler's gone.
Yeah, it's got to back. They've got to surely just pull away from this one. Alberto was off on the south side. Kevin moving in there with his Banshee's Veil glowing around him is a very scary man to be going up against. The Cullen comes out actually cancelled there by Freeze, wasn't connected anyway. And that will be Baron successfully stopped here by Millenium.
So NIP did force out the teleport from Kevin. Also the ultimate from Curb, buying them a little bit of time where they can try and do something on the map. I mean, teleport is ready for Source Zero. He could go to side lane, force someone from Millenium there, and then try and set up a fight in the mid lane. Seems though NIP do not feel confident enough actually pushing too far out. Really afraid of this Millenium lineup, and they should be, because they've really been performing when it comes to team fights, especially in the late game.
43 minutes. Approaching that late game territory that we've been familiar with from our last couple of games.
I think we are in it.
Well, there's still another 20 minutes, which
True.
is half of the game so far, if we're to match up with the other previous game. Game 1 was actually 33 or 34 minutes, which is about the average time that NIP, funnily enough, have been winning their challenger games in. Or they've not done one faster than that before, let's put it that way. Look here, just checking out the Baron pick once again, and wants to just completely speed himself up. Kevin, though, is the man that they have to keep in check. Just trying to waste a bit of time until his teleport comes up and he can, again, just force their hand.
And he's gonna get a Guardian Angel, most likely as his next item, and he's so tanky, so much damage, it's gonna be very, very hard to deal with him. Guardian Angel also on Cornex, he's gonna looking to do the same thing here. Oh, they're going towards Kevin.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do to him? That's a lot of damage actually coming in, but he jumps away from it. Cornex in the middle of the team. There is a Dragon's Descent into the middle of them. The ultimate used out of them as well, but they're turning around this damage. They're gonna go back in onto it. Cornex will get the slowdown from the side. Here comes Kevin. They've slowed down 2 of them, stunned up 2 of them rather, but they still manage to walk off. Everyone on NIP around half HP. Millenium here gonna go just in time for the Dragon.
getting the dragon here. We saw first Kevin actually being caught out of position. Cotnex though, he jumped in, popped his ultimate, actually managed to get out. Didn't even have to use his Guardian Angel. And then we just see both teams. None of them actually had enough damage to take someone down. They went in there for the fight. Millenium disengaged at first, turned around, then NIP disengaged. None of the teams with enough damage to kill anyone.
So we're going to see them just backing off here once again. Let's have a look how much gold there is to spend. Actually not masses. 1,400 for Jax. 1,1200 as well for Twisted Fate in that mid lane. So we'll see about that one. And as you say, Guardian Angel, when that comes in onto Kevin, it's going to make him a lot more
annoying,
comfortable jumping into the enemy team and staying there for longer, which, you know, if he's got his Counter-Strike running like he has in his last couple of team fights, actually done really well with the timing on that one. A major headache for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Gold is now to 4.5, wait a minute, 6,500. It's getting late. These have been long games. You can't expect me to do maths and long games. That's definitely not in my repertoire. But the Baron again was just cleared out. There's just that one single ward at the front side. His Cotnex here coming around to help out Creatin, who by the way picked up an Infinity Edge on his last trip home.
And also Kerb almost got enough gold for the Lich Bane, which of course is going to be the last power spike item for him. Going to get so much damage once he actually get to a tower.
Yeah.
And also just his upfront damage, like his burst damage towards the first target from NIP coming towards him. It's going to be a very big deal. And Millenium at the moment just want to wait for these last few items. Again, you see them giving all the farm over to Kevin so he can get the Guardian Angel. They want Kerb to get the Lich Bane before they seek any fights, and it's very smart because again they are in control, and Creatin actually just pulled the Baron.
shot it the once and then starts attacking Kerb. Not exactly what you want, and they need to be careful here though. NIP are moving back in position there, and again they exchange wards on the front side of that Baron pit. And the Guardian Angel is now there for Kevin. Tottenx got a Guardian Angel. Yep. Some scary moments maybe coming up for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They themselves not so close to a GA, to be honest, on that front. And we're seeing a Zhonya's coming out by the looks of it from Nuke. He's got at least some extra protection in there from that one. A couple of Banshee's Veils as well across the rest of the team. I'll stop maybe the stun coming out of Twisted Fate or from or the Counter-Strike from Jax if he does it, and again get another 4-5 man stun off like we've seen him in previous fights. Millenium, if you're just joining us, you can see the scoreboard at the top. They're 2-1 up in this game. They win this one, they will be holding on to their position in the LCS. Baron is going to be started off. Here comes the teleport down the back, but is he going to be alone? Kevin is right in the middle of them. He's going to stun up 3. Millenium looking to turn this one around. A lot of damage on the backside though from Nuke. He's already used his intervention, and Kerb just stopped all that damage coming in with the fact that he was able to use the Zhonya's. Good kick. Nuke gone down to Cotnex though, and there is the flash into the dark binding. It was Mikhail's which actually got Mithy away from him, but look at this. Cotnex is coming around the side. Guardian Angel still intact. There's another 3-man stun coming in from Kevin. They get another kill. Can they get 0-0? Exploded, and Kevin still going for it. That's a 3-0 in favor of Millenium. Now they're going to go back to Baron.
So as soon as the Guardian Angel were completed by Kevin, he walked down to the bottom lane, and Millenium just walked straight to the Baron. They wanted to force NIP to move there. They wanted to force a fight, and it worked for them. NIP went in there to try and stop it. Nuke was halfway through the fight. He couldn't do more. His intervention was gone. He's no mana. Cotnex couldn't chase him and kill him. And then again, Millenium are just so tanky. They can just extend these fights. Look here. Nuke here at the side using... He's actually almost from the start. He's going to be the target first from here on. His mana is gone. He's basically not going to be able to do much other than try and kill Kerb. Zhonya's. Meanwhile, though, up in the top, Cotnex will kill Nuke, get the kill onto him. But up here, the big thing, the 4v4 going on. Millenium with the disengage, and then once they actually feel like now we have the advantage with Cotnex also moving around, they chase on towards it, get another great stun from Kevin, jump in with the rest of the team. Both Guardian Angels are still up for both Cotnex and Kevin. This was not even a close fight.
Really worrying signs as well for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Well, it's late game. Again, Millenium with the better late game comp. NIP failed to do anything on the map early on. They didn't actually get a lead. Millenium played really well as a team here. And as soon as they get to these late game team fights, that's where they get their reward because they are just so strong.
And here we go, can they take down this turret? Actually, they're going to go for Crimson. He got a little bit too far forward, and that is a lot of damage coming his way. He's going to get focused. Nuknuk actually is going to blow him up. Cornex may find himself in trouble. He jumps away from that one. Flashes as well. He's used his ultimate, so they shouldn't be locking him down, and they do. It's Freeze that lands the final damage. His GA gets popped, and it's easy to finish him off after that.
This
now
could be an
it's 2
inhibitor.
men down. 70 seconds for Cornex, 60 as well for Grids, and this is bad for Millenium.
Ninjas and Pyjamas just need to push all the way up. They have to get an inhibitor from this. Kreaton, he moved in as the front guy to hit the tower, took a lot of damage, and then they engaged. Black Shield was late from JV, so the stun landed onto him, and it was easy for NIP to get the kill. They might even try and go to finish this game.
This could be interesting.
Intervention is ready.
He's going to be absolutely gutted about this one if this could be the end of the game. Curb taking a bit of a blast. Kevin is probably the savior for them, though, in this scenario. He's the one that's got to do all the work.
Let's go for the tower.
Coming through. They're going to try and go for this one. Zoro Zero at the back is going to be picked up by Kevin. They're going to go straight in here, though. Mythy going very low. Kevin is still hammering away. One of those Nexus turrets go down. Double kill for Kevin. They're going to focus on the second. Can they finish up the game?
No way.
5 seconds coming in for Kreaton, and they are going to pick up the Nexus. And what the hell? Ninjas in Pyjamas pick up the game. Millenium making the mistake, which may end up costing them their place in the LCS. Incredible finish to that game. It looked almost like it was done and dusted here for Millenium with those last team fights. And they've just gone and lost it. And now it's 2-2. It all comes down to the final game.
This game was won by Millenium until Kreaton got too greedy for the tower, stood as the first guy in the front line, took a lot of damage, and then the Black Shield from JV, once the ultimate came down from Miffy, was too late. He got locked down, he got stunned, and they just killed him instantly.